So it's about 25 degrees outside, 25 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm getting ready to go on a 4-hour bike ride. I'll be riding from Belleville, New Jersey, down through Millburn and then Summit, then out to Chatham, and then around what they call the Great Swamp, and then I'll be heading back. So altogether it'll probably be about a 45-mile ride. And when it's 25 degrees outside, it's supposed to get up to in the mid-30s today. I don't know how hot it will get or how warm it will get before I actually get home, but I'm anticipating that it's going to stay in the high 20s and low 30s. So I need some warm weather gear, so I thought I'd just do a video showing some of the warm weather gear, or I should say cold weather cold weather gear to keep me warm while I'm cycling. The trick is you don't want to get too overdressed. If you overdress, then you're gonna sweat, and you won't feel the cold that much while you're cycling. But if, let's say, you get a flat tire, or for whatever reason you can't keep that energy going and that heat building up inside your body, if you have to get off the bike and stop pedaling, and you're all sweaty, you're going to get really cold, and you might not be able to warm up once you get that cold. So it's a trick, and you just learn it over time. You figure out what's right. The best is when you first start out, you should be cold. And then eventually, as your body warms up, then you'll feel fine. You won't even know that it's cold outside if you have the right gear. So I'm not going to show some of the stuff that I wear when it's colder than 25 degrees Fahrenheit, but this is what I'm going to be riding in today. So this is Under Armour that I wear. This one here has a little bit of a collar, so it's not it's not like a big wide turtleneck, but it's a about a 2-inch collar that helps keep your neck warm. I also have a neck gaiter. I don't always use it, but it's nice to have. I'll put it in my pocket. If I'm getting really cold for one reason or another, I'll put this neck gaiter on. And then since it's 25, it's going to be pretty cold. I need to layer. So I have another thin Under Armour that I wear. So that's two shirts, if you want to think of it that way, and then a short sleeve cycling jersey. I always put this on. I like having the pockets, and you can unzip it if you get too hot. You can unzip that, and then here's my jacket. It's not a real thick jacket. It's you could wear it in the springtime. If it's in the 50s, it'll keep you warm. With just a jersey. If it gets colder, if it's in the 40s, then you have to start putting some layers underneath. Then again, since it's 25, I have this under layer. It's just a thin like spandex type material. My sister-in-law gave this to me for my birthday many years ago when I used to jog. I used to wear this while I was jogging in the wintertime. So it'll go underneath my bibs. So I got my bibs here. And then I have 3 pairs of socks. The first pair is kind of, you can see it's long. These are silk. So I put these on. Then I have some wool socks, some thin wool socks, and then I have a pair of thick wool socks. I only wear these if it's really, really cold. It makes it a little snug. That's another thing. You don't want to have your feet wrapped too tightly, because then there's no blood circulating down there, and your feet can get really cold. So it's a trade-off. But this is what I use, these thick wool socks a lot. And then over my cycling shoes, I have these. There's Endura booties, or shoe covers. Some people call them booties. These are for mountain bike shoes. That's what I've been riding with, is a mountain bike shoe. I know it's a little bit heavier than a road shoe, but I'm not in a race, and it's nicer to walk on the mountain bike cycling shoes than it is the road shoes. Gloves. These are ski gloves. I bought these ski gloves at Campmore, and they're it's called Gordini. And believe it or not, unless it's like 32 degrees or colder, you don't want to wear these. They're too hot. Your hands will sweat. But when it gets down into the low 30s, you want something like this. My other gloves, they just don't keep my hands warm enough. But these are plenty warm ski gloves, and they're waterproof. They're waterproof ski gloves. You can get them at Campmore. Gordini. Gordini, it's called and it has Gore-Tex. Gore-Tex, I don't know if you can see that there. Gore-Tex. That's the waterproofing. And then I have some miscellaneous things I wear on my head. This is a balaclava, you know, kind of like a ski mask type thing. I very seldom wear this, but on a day like today, I'll start out with it, and if I get too hot, then I can just take it off. And then I have a little beanie, very thin, fits nicely. The same thing with this balaclava. It's very thin. It's I think it's silk. Silk. This is just some kind of polyester beanie. I wear this if it's in the low 40s or below. If it's like 45, I don't wear it. I just wear this headband. Put this headband around my ears like this, and see, the top of my head is bare, so I don't get too hot. So, but this is good if it's like, say, 44, 45 or warmer. If it's colder than that, then I need to have, then I use the beanie. Sometimes, like today, I'll have both. I'll have the beanie, and I'll probably have this, put this on, the balaclava ski mask. I'll start out with that, see how it goes. If it gets too hot, just take off what you don't need. Again, you don't want to get really sweaty. You're gonna get sweaty, but you don't want too much sweat. Try to let your layers wick that sweat away from your body, so that if you have to stop cycling, you're not just covered with sweat, and you'll get 25-degree weather. You're gonna get cold instantly, and it's gonna be a sweat and cold weather is a bad combination. So you want to make sure that you layer, so that if you get too hot, you can take something off. I'll have my pannier with me, and so if there's anything that I don't need, I can just put it in my pannier. And that's one of the reasons why I ride with a pannier, is especially in the winter time, because sometimes you start out early in the morning, it's really, really cold, but then it might warm up. It could warm up 10 degrees or more by the time before you get home, if it's a long ride. and you're going to have a place to put some of the clothes that you take off as it warms up throughout the day. So those are the cycling clothes that I wear that I typically wear in the cold weather, especially like a cold day like today. Okay, so I got all the gear on that I showed you in the first part of the video. The only thing that I did different was, instead of the balaclava ski mask, I just have this gaiter, neck gaiter. So you can put it on like this if you want. The only problem is that my sunglasses get all fogged up, so I just wear it like this. And it's a little chilly, but once I hit some hills coming out of Belleville, coming into Montclair, or Bloomfield and Montclair, the hills up on Claremont Avenue, I warmed up pretty fast, and everything seems to be working pretty good. Like I said, if I get too warm, I can take some of the layers off. I have some extra layers in my pannier. If I get too cold, I can put them on. So that's kind of how I do it in the winter time. I hope you're enjoying the video. Let you see my beautiful face. What do you think, huh? Look at that. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Anyways, you know, gotta have some humor, right? So I'm in Montclair now, and I'm headed to the swamp, and then I'll be coming back. Well, I'm back in Belleville, but it's not because I finished my ride. When I did the other video, you might have noticed I didn't have my helmet. So I had to ride back. So that put an extra 8 miles on my ride for today, but it's all good. Everything's good. Just don't want to ride without the helmet. I've had several incidents. The helmet saved my life in 2 or 3, I know at least 2, maybe 3 times when, if I didn't have my helmet, I'd either be in a hospital brain dead or be 6 feet under. So I came back. Always ride, make sure you always ride with a helmet. So I made it back from my ride to the swamp, and it stayed pretty cold most of the day. So about 2 o'clock, I was on the bike for about 5 hours altogether, so I got 65 miles in. I was riding kind of slow today. So the only changes that I needed to make to my cold weather gear was around 2 o'clock. I took off my my headband, so I had this beanie on, and then I had a headband around that, you know, around my ears. So that I got too warm for that, so I took that off, and the neck gaiter, I took the neck gaiter off, and then I have some lighter gloves because the ski gloves were too warm. Later on, like I said, around 2 o'clock, it was a little bit warm. It warmed up. I don't know what the temperature is right now, but it warmed up a little bit, enough for me to change the gloves. So that's why I carry, when I'm on a really long bike ride like this, carry some change of clothes. to adjust to the temperature changes. If you're only going out for 20-30 miles, it's not a big deal, but 65 miles on the bike for 5 hours, so you want to have some change, be able to have some options. So anyways, I made it back, and I hope you enjoyed my cold weather gear video. I hope that it gave you some ideas about, it's definitely doable. You can be on the bike as long as you want out in the cold, as long as you dress right and for the weather. So again, enjoy, and don't let the cold weather stop you. Just get out there and ride your bike.